The following podcast contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion advised.
And although we joke, if you or someone you know is affected by or a victim of domestic violence, dial 1-800-799-7233 or visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline's website, thehotline.org.
But it's always the husband, it's always the husband, it's always the husband. I'm gonna keep it.
Hello, everybody. This is Sarah.
This is
I
Megan.
forgot what to do.
Hello,
you are
everybody.
listening to It's Always the Husband podcast.
You sure are. And welcome. This is a true crime podcast where we talk about husbands who kill their wives, and we are the women who love to hate them.
Right.
And so it's a little bit funny and a little bit
Well, it's sad because
sassy.
sexual assault seems to be, quote, in for men. And I don't care for that. I think that's wrong.
I don't either.
But for them, it seems like it's, fine.
Seems like it
And
is
for the American
advantageous.
people, it seems fine.
It does.
But I think it maybe isn't.
we seem to be in the minority
Yeah.
because
I don't care for it
people
myself.
are. One person put in our Facebook group, the guy who choked his wife in October won by one vote
Sure.
in November.
Choke the
In
hell out of
Maine.
your wife and
In Maine.
win. Yeah.
He won.
Everybody essays the shit out of everybody, and now they are running our country all over the place.
Huh.
SAUSA. That's their slogan. United in our sexual assaults.
Yeah, I guess. I can't even believe we're laughing about it.
I know, because it's terribly
It's so
upsetting,
sickening.
but that's where we're at.
All
The United
right.
States of sexual assault.
Here we are. Welcome.
Yes.
We do have some listeners in places other than the United States. So hello to you also.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, governor. So what did you do this week? Everything cool?
I didn't do nothing.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I went to Wicked
Oh. Yeah, I heard it was very enjoyable.
with the girls. Do you like musicals?
I do.
Okay. I didn't know. I mean, because
Yeah.
the one musical we went to, we both wanted to kill
I hated
everyone.
Rent.
Yeah, I hated
I
Rent
liked
too.
I like a lot of other musicals.
But so I mean, wow, is all I can say.
Good. I have not. This is one I haven't seen. Wicked. Ever.
Cynthia Erivo is nutballs. Good.
Good.
And her voice, I liked so much more than I thought I would. I don't know, because like I heard it on TikToks or something, and it sounded like, I don't know. I just didn't love it, and maybe it was just because I didn't love the song, but she was so good.
That's good.
And Ariana has been my queen forever, and she
Good.
is
It just seems so
literally nuts.
long. I just don't have patience anymore.
Yeah. It was long, but I didn't feel like it was
Good.
super long.
Well, then that's good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Good.
And it was amazing. And of course, our Bridgerton boy.
I know. I
is
like
just
him.
like fucking
Yeah.
hot shit. Yeah. So that was fun to see. And then I spent Saturday at a robotics tournament with my son.
Nerd alert.
And it was so fun. I can't even believe that
sure
I'm saying
it was
this.
so fun.
I'm not even joking. I held up a sign. And they did really, really well. They had so much fun. And then yesterday I went to the best Christmas pageant ever.
Oh, I love
movie.
that.
And I used to love watching that as a
I
child.
read that book
Yep.
5,000 times.
Yeah, so we read the book, and then there was a movie, like, was it on TV or something? Or maybe we had it on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
And
Forever old, right?
Feruza
Oh.
Balk, or whatever her name is, was the little girl who narrated
Yes.
it. Remember, like, the girl who ended up
Yeah.
in that witch movie or something?
Yes. She was in Return to Oz as well.
Yeah.
She was Dorothy in the
Yes.
creepiest Return to
Yes.
Oz.
Yes. And Loretta Swit, I think, was from MASH, was
Yes.
the mom. So we watched that, the remake of it, and it was really good. I cried the whole entire. I know, surprise, but I cried through the whole entire thing. It was so good. So I saw 2 movies that were just
That's nice.
awesome. Yeah, and I hardly ever go to movies, so
I
that was
know.
fun. I had a big weekend.
Yeah, I had Thanksgiving early with Jamie's side, or Jamie's brother
Okay.
and my sister-in-law.
Did you eat turkey?
A ham. It was very good.
Okay. Nice. A
and-
ham on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. And we went on a date on Friday.
No.
Yep. It was fun. We actually had fun.
Where did you go?
He had music tickets, so I said, I'll go, I guess. But then we didn't. We just hung around town and got ham boned.
Oh.
Yeah.
In our town?
Yeah.
Oh.
We did. Well, in Savage.
Yeah.
Your town.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Right.
so, I don't know. Boring to these people. Nobody
I know.
cares.
They're like, what the hell?
Jesus H. Christ. We're
Um,
talking to each other like we just are talking to each other.
What? That's how we don't even talk to each other like
I
that. We're
know.
like, bitch.
Yeah.
Get out of bed. What got you through your
I had
shit whole
nothing.
week? Nothing.
This is my day today at the deodorants. One yells in class, shut the fuck up. One yells, shit. One called someone such a horrific name, I almost couldn't type it out.
Mm-hmm.
One then demonstrates how to teabag a corpse.
No. A 6th grader.
Yep. How do you get through a day like that? How?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know.
When you have a child teabagging a corpse,
Yeah,
how do you
that's
move on?
That's not nice. I mean, I feel like you really would.
There's so many things wrong with that. The corpse,
Yeah.
the teabagging, and the teabagging of the corpse.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, in front of 32 others.
So I'm going to tell you what got me through mine.
Okay.
This might make you feel happy.
All right, it might help me because I
Or-
can't.
It might make you feel even more angry. I don't know. You know that in this time of the year, what do I love to do?
Watch Christmas movies.
Yes, correct. Okay.
All right.
So, in between Wicked and Best Christmas Pageant Ever, I watched 2 Christmas movies on Netflix. I would like to talk to you about one of them,
Yeah.
and it is called The Merry Gentleman.
Sure.
It was made this year in 2024,
Okay.
and it stars Chad Michael Murray.
Oh, is he alive still?
He is. He is still alive.
Yeah.
And the premise of this movie is, of course, this girl comes home from the city.
As always.
She's been a rockette,
Oh.
sort of a dancer, in the city, and she's fired for being too old and
she's what in real life? 19 and
wrinkly,
5'2".
And so she gets fired and she has to go back home. And her mom and dad own a bar. And the bar used to have like bands come in. And of course, no bands have come in the longest time. And her parents are struggling to pay the rent. And she, her dad, by the way, is played by,
Chad Michael Murray.
no, he's her love interest.
Okay.
Played by Michael Gross, who is
Ah,
Stephen Keaton
yeah.
in.
He's still alive?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, so and then her mom was played by the lady who was Sabrina the Teenage Witch's aunt,
Oh,
one of her
okay.
aunts.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
So those two are married, and so she concocts this idea, the ex-rockette, that she's going to bring a male dance review into the bar.
Oh.
And
All
they're
right,
gonna
I'm for it.
Spice things
Yep.
up and dance.
Are they going to show Dick?
And they did not show
Oh,
Dick, but
okay.
they were shirtless.
Yes.
And Chad Michael Murray does not look half bad.
Well, that's good.
Does
Does he weigh 125 pounds or does he actually?
No.
Okay.
He looks good.
All right.
But It's a little bit Magic Mike, but a little less risque.
Well, I'm sure.
And because it's like Hallmark.
Yeah.
But there is a surprise shirtless dance by someone who you would
By the dad?
literally
Oh.
you would
Oh.
literally piss your pants.
Okay. You're not going to say it's a surprise?
I mean, I kind of want to say it, but
What do you...
he's in this room.
Burt Reynolds?
He
dead.
is passed. He has
Yeah.
passed on. Yeah. So I'm looking around.
Conway Twitty?
These are the people on our walls. We have
Hmm.
Lionel Richie,
I don't think it's him.
Backstreet Boys, Jason Momoa,
I don't think it would be Jason Momoa.
He-Man, the Masters of the Universe.
It's not John Travolta, is it?
We have Jesus Christ. Would you look
I
at
don't
the
think
time?
it's Jesus.
It's not Jesus. We have
It's
Rob
not
Lowe.
C-3PO.
No.
I don't think you dance well.
We have John Travolta. We have Burt Reynolds.
Is one of them? Oh. Him? Oh. Now I have to watch, but he's under 10.
Maxwell
What
Caulfield.
How does he get into the picture?
Holy shit. I died.
Does he just show up as a homeless?
kind of, but no. I didn't recognize him at first. And then they were like, "Her, we need an extra dancer." And
he
all
just
of a sudden
comes out from the bar? Oh. All right, now I have to watch it.
you do have to
and
watch
I
it.
never would watch these.
Because
they make me so angry.
Yes, I screamed.
You did, I'm sure.
It was, and Phil was like, "What the fuck?" Because I tortured him with watching not only this one but Hot Frosty.
Oh, I can't.
And
I
Hot
can't
Frosty,
handle Hot Frosty.
Again, was another shirtless man running around
that weighs
that was a
112.
snowman. Yeah. But this one we laughed at and enjoyed, and special cameo by Maxwell Caulfield.
They knew how to try to get some
They were going
cynical
for you.
people in.
Yep.
They tried with that one.
They knew
All right.
that there was a Sarah somewhere
Yep.
out there.
That
And
watched Grease 2 1,600 times and would watch this.
yeah. And he's not that old.
I suppose.
He's
I mean-
only 65.
Oh, well.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that. I mean, good for him.
Well, good for him. Certainly, I'll take it.
All right. So another thing that we have on our podcast, if you haven't listened, is that we have a Facebook group. And it is called It's Always the Husband Podcast Group. And you can search it on Facebook and find it. And we will let you in. And then we post disgusting, stupid posts that are
Really
horribly
gross, and
offensive,
we love them.
and we laugh. So, Sarah, who won your Facebook funny for the week?
Well, since I just read now Smut, I enjoyed Kylie D's because she showed a mom that was trying to just take a lovely picture of her Christmas fireplace. But like sometimes you have like a live photo where if you push on it, you know, it
I've been burned
comes
by
to life.
those a
Yeah.
couple times. Yeah.
So if she sent a live photo to her family chat, but her smut book was playing in the background and it was talking about a gentleman's boner in the background, and she sent it to her family. So it reminds me of when Netbar sent her husband's balls to her work chat group. And that was an unfortunate mistake to send your husband's balls to your work chat group.
But this,
by accident.
this one was like literally, look at my mantle. It's decorated for Christmas. And then she pressed
yeah.
it. But in the background, when people touched it and watched it, you could hear ball talk.
Yeah, or his giant
Sex.
boner
Yeah,
in his
giant
pants.
Hard on.
His boner in his pants.
Oh my God.
I love it because that's just how
It was
every book I
funny.
read.
It was funny.
Oh shit.
So mine was we've never highlighted this person's post before. Just wait. Now I lost it.
God damn it. And I can't remember what you said.
I had it.
And it was 2 minutes ago.
Saved. It really was. How do I get to, okay, Always a Husband podcast group. This person, like I said, we've never highlighted. Her name is, oh, you son of a bitch. Her name is Maria Eva Peralta Arcia.
I was just going to say hers too, because she had a cool post about men versus men women write about. And I always say fictional men are so much better than real men.
Exactly.
And I like that post too by her.
So this was her post. Now I remember it. It's a woman who is lovely and she's wearing an orange jumpsuit. This is her mug shot and she's smiling from ear to ear and she's legitimately pretty. And it says, "Roses are red, Earth's climate is heating." And then the the headline underneath this person's mugshot was, "Wife bursts open husband testicles by smashing them in their wedding photo album after she catches him cheating." Smashes them and bursts them wide open.
Well, that'll teach him. How did she get him close to the book? Did she say, "Let's look at better times"?
Bam!
And then
and
smashed it.
Smashed it.
Oh.
Do you know what? I just accidentally, I looked up on Wikipedia Maxwell Caulfield because I wanted to see how old he really was.
Yes.
And I just kept the page up and I accidentally glanced at it and I just saw Caulfield became an exotic dancer at London's Windmill Theatre
Did he show some dick?
to obtain his equity card, enabling him to work as an actor.
Well,
so he hearkened back his first show biz job
Yeah.
to do this high class movie called The Merry Gentleman.
Well, I'm glad he did.
I am too.
He was underappreciated.
You are going to watch it tonight,
I'm going to have
you?
to. Well, it's way past my bedtime because it's 8.
Oh,
so I'll have to do it
geez.
tomorrow.
Okay. Before book club. All right. So that's the shit we talk about at the beginning of the hour. Now let's get into the murder.
All right. We watched a beloved favorite, Deadly Affairs, with Susan Lucci.
I will say that I watched this episode with my daughter Eloise. And Phil, my husband, walked in and was like, "Well, you can't watch this smut with Eloise." And we were both hysterically laughing.
Of course.
And then he got sucked in and couldn't stop. And we all watched it and
Well,
laughed.
Phil knows better. He walks
Hysterically.
in to make a scene just to be able to
Yeah.
watch it because he wants to watch it.
He really wants to. And
Of
this
course
one
he does.
is a doozy.
This one is insane.
Oh, Susan Lucci, you've never led us astray.
No, she doesn't. She picks good ones.
Yep.
First off, I wanted to write immediately. The first thing I wrote was, golly, actors look night and day from real people. The actors and the people they are portraying are different as could be.
Very different.
Just very, 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 very different.
Oh, yeah, they did show
in
pictures.
appearance.
Yeah.
Extremely different in appearance. It's like trying to pass off some sort of zebra as a giraffe. It's just, they were so different.
Yeah. Phil
the
was
gentleman,
like, Jesus.
they had a somewhat handsome gentleman for the actual gentleman.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
The actual gentleman was an unfortunate sir. His eyes looked normal, but when you looked at them, to me it seems like they were at Disney World and a Disneyland, but they weren't. But when you looked at them, it looked like they were
I didn't
like wall-eyed.
get that.
Something was wrong with them.
I was
obviously
a little more concerned with her, but all around, actress and non.
Oh, it was terrible.
So,
there's no even trying in this episode. No trying.
Wow. Okay.
All right, but we have a state trooper named Bobby, and he wears the hat, the giant Abe Lincoln curved hat on his head, the state trooper hat.
Aviator, hot glasses.
Yep. And he's Bobby loves being a state trooper. He loves the uniform. He loves guns.
They said that.
And he loves the power. And he's an ex-Marine. And they said he was handsome. And I'm putting that in quotes because handsome would not be my word to use.
Have made him sound more douchey.
No, he just looks gross. Absolutely gross. And he needs heavy Vaseline on the lens. The women that found him handsome definitely had eclipse accidents.
It must have been a small town.
Yeah. They all were staring
imagine.
right into the sun. Now we have Danielle, his beloved wife, and she is, thankfully, to these people, an emergency room nurse. We need them. Danielle meets Bobby because a lot of times you'll have the police are coming in when there's accidents. They end up going into the emergency room with, ambulance people, police, first responders.
Right.
They end up in the emergency room with the nurses trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Right.
So Danielle and Bobby meet in an emergency room with some sort of accident victim. And they're married in 1995, but this is taking place about 8 years after that. So they had been wonderfully married for 8 years. And when Bobby would come by the emergency room where Danielle's working, the other nurses would always look kind of in jealousy because Bobby would stare at Danielle and they got the impression that he just adored her. He worshiped the ground she walked on. He would look at her like, she is my sun and moon and stars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yet they were so wrong. They were wrong, dumb as shit. Danielle, of course, being a nurse too, she worked her ass off and would have long ass shifts. And she worked 2 hospitals. She'd work one shift at one hospital and go to another hospital and work her ass off. Well, because then I'm sure you're working and then you want to go home and then we have this person that was stabbed with 40 samurai knives. Can you help? And you can't say no. You got to be like, fuck, all right.
Nurses and teachers, right? Like, do it for
the patient. Do it for the kids. I don't care shit one about the patient or kids right now. I want to go home.
Sometimes we need to sleep too.
I know. But they get caught up in the 18-hour shift.
Yeah.
So Bobby would be on patrol too, and they don't see each other a lot, and that's tough on a marriage. And then we see a scene with the actors, and we have actor Bobby, and he pulls over because there is 2 ladies that are dressed in very cheap cocktail dresses.
Yeah.
And it's the middle of the day, and I'm wondering why they're wearing the cocktail dresses.
They were doing the walk of shame.
Yeah,
home.
I think so. Because they were unkempt. But they had a flat tire, and they were just kind of going, they didn't know first thing what to do.
No.
You figure it out, bitch. I didn't change a flat tire by myself.
This was before cell phones, too.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because it was like 2002, 2003.
Yeah. I mean, same thing, bitch. I had to figure it out. But Bobby pulls over, and he, acts like a dashing savior and starts to change the tire, and the 2 women are like looking at him and going, oh my god, look at his bulge, look at his muscles. Again, their eyes have been highly affected by a burning eclipse. Because no, absolutely not. Have you not seen any handsome men? Have you not read a smut book? You can do better. And so they're flirting, and Bobby is just flirting. He's like a step away from just whipping it out.
Ew.
Now, Bobby does this apparently constantly. And he actually has like 47 women on the side, and Danielle has no idea.
Come on.
None. No idea. So he's had like 150,000 affairs throughout their whole marriage. He flirts constantly all the time. If he pulls over a woman, he just gives her his number and pretty much porks her on the spot through the window. He pulls it out and sticks it right in her eye. And they have eye relations.
That's why all the women are blind.
They never see him, so they don't know. They think he's handsome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We figured it
Yeah,
out.
we know why now.
Uh-huh.
So we get to July 2003, and this old French whore named Maddie Clark. She somehow starts an affair with Bobby. I'm not sure. I think he pulls her over or something. I don't know how they meet.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
She
Maybe he did pull her over.
was a hot mess, but
She was a terrible hot mess.
when they
And
showed the actress who did it, I went. They were like, she or whatever. He starts an affair with Maddie, whatever, and I was like, "Is she 100?" And right at the
Yes.
same time, they were like, "She was much older." And then Phil and I were laughing because it was the dumbest.
yeah, she looks like an old French whore. And then they also referred to her as an old whore with bleach blonde hair.
But she did have to keep herself
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah, fit. I don't know. So they started having an affair. Now, the makeup they did on her, she looks like Ronald McDonald's twin sister. It's like she took Homer Simpson's makeup gun and just
Yeah.
fired it into her face.
They
They did her dirty.
They did.
I don't know if they were trying to make her look like an old French whore, like older, but I mean, she looks like a kid who found some sort of clown makeup and smeared it on her face. She looked like the clown from last week.
Well-
The clown. I don't get it.
Sometimes, and then sometimes she just looked like they put no makeup on her at all, and we're like, just get up in front and say your lines. And
Yes. They did this woman dirty.
yeah.
Now, then they go right to a bed scene because they're dating for 5 months and Maddie wants to marry him. And so she wants him to get rid of Danielle. And Bobby's like, sure, okay.
This is really his first girl. Like, he's been screwing everyone, all the blind ladies in town.
Yeah,
but-
just doing the eye. And now I think he's doing the vag.
right. And so they said, this is really the first woman he kind of falls for,
Yes.
too. Like, prior to this, he was just screwing everyone.
Yeah.
But still going home to Danielle, and now he's like, I guess I don't like Danielle no more.
But on that bed scene, did you see how she was wearing the lingerie and then she had her front bra underneath the lingerie? She was like on Trudy on 911. Trudy would wear lingerie and then wear her granny panties and her front bra under it. That's what she did.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a bra under your lingerie, like a frumpy bra?
There literally
Why?
has to be no costume
I
or
don't
makeup
understand.
or hair department in the show. There
Why
can't be.
would you wear big granny panties under a lingerie?
I don't-
That's not what you do, I think.
That's what made her feel good.
No. Do you wear your poise?
Now I can all.
Under your-
I mean, I'm wearing mine right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess. So now Maddie though is wanting Bobby to dump Danielle, but she doesn't trust Bobby. So she's keeping track
Of course,
him.
because she's literally the mistress.
Right.
So.
She thinks, if I'm, he's probably still maybe dicking around. She drives by his house and then she does find out that he's dicking around. She's not the only woman that he's having an affair with. And she gets really mad. But Danielle goes to work at the emergency room and gossip starts swirling about town and about the emergency room that her husband Bobby is porking everybody about the eye and the vag.
Yeah.
And someone finally goes up to Danielle and says, "Excuse me, I don't want to upset you, but the rumors about town are that your husband is fucking everyone." Of course it upsets her.
Yeah.
And Danielle is like, "Oh my God."
And she's like, would you want to know if it were you? And Danielle's like, yeah. And she's like, it's you.
Yeah. So Danielle is like, well, shit. So she goes home and sets up a recording device on her home phone, which is smart. I wouldn't know how to do that.
No, but it was like
A Walkman.
Yeah, she like, I'm going to hide this Walkman right by the phone, and it's literally plugged in with a cord.
Yes.
So you could totally see it, and there's nothing sneaky about it.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And then she listens to a bunch of Maddie and Bobby's phone calls, but they say it's inconclusive. I don't know what you mean. Like they weren't talking about fucking. Well, what else would they be talking about?
Yeah, they shouldn't have been talking, period. So there's something.
And then some reason on New Year's Day 2004, Danielle decides to meet up with Maddie at like a coffee shop or ice cream shop or something dumb. Maddie storms in with high-heeled boots, and she can't walk in them to save her goddamn life. Her legs are like wobble, 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 wobble,
Yeah.
wobble, wobble. Like she's wobbling all over. She sits down, and I guess it goes like she starts yelling at Danielle, calling her like fat, ugly. You need to leave him. He hates you. He loves me. Stay away from my man. And screaming at her
Called
in
her a
public.
bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
And then in the scene, they showed all the other women at the coffee store, like looking over, watching this whole scene go down. And she was just a crazy bitch.
Screaming at her. And Danielle is just sitting there like, what the
Yeah.
hell? And just upset, like, oh my God, okay. Maddie then walks out of the store, like wobbling, like when you see those fashion models on the runway and they can't walk in their shoes. That's what Maddie's doing.
She did.
Almost falls through the plate glass window.
Buckling at
Yes.
the knees, going, grr, grr.
And so she almost trips and just dives through the glass. Danielle is like, well, shit. So again, so she goes home and she screams at Bobby, I fucking hate you, get out of the house, but we're too poor, so you have to stay together
Yeah.
because neither of us can afford to pay for the house or pay for anywhere to live, which sucks because that's everybody. So Danielle had to have Bobby still stay with her, and Bobby wanted the house, but Bobby couldn't pay her out of the house, and Danielle couldn't help him pay for an apartment, so they were fucking
Right.
stuck together.
Yeah.
But Bobby is still seeing Maddie Clark, the old French whore, and 2 months later, she gets him a giant ass gun, a .357 Magnum.
She says, I bought you something.
Yeah. And then they're describing it as a big, long, thick grip. And I'm
Yeah,
like, come
it was
on. So gross.
Yeah.
Who would talk like that?
Well, someone on Deadly Affairs.
Then 5 months later, since Danielle caught Bobby cheating, Bobby is still fucking living with Danielle because he can't get out of the house. And Danielle is just like, you fucking loser, something like that. Just get your fucking act together. And Bobby says, you fucking leave the house or I'm going to kill you, and starts pushing her
Danielle,
around.
yeah.
To Danielle. So Danielle is like, well, fuck this. And she calls the police, and she gets a domestic violence protection order against him.
Yeah.
Since Bobby is a cop,
This is bad.
that's really bad. And he has 10 days for her to take it away or he gets fired. And so he goes to Danielle and is like, you need to drop this shit. And she's like, fuck you. And he said, well, let's try to work something out then. So you can drop this shit. And she's like, well, then fucking leave. So they agree. He's going to leave and move in with the whore,
Maddie,
the old
yeah.
French whore. And Danielle will keep the house, and she'll drop the domestic violence
Right.
certificate or whatever. So they agree to that. And Bobby moves in with Maddie. And then Maddie, as she's helping him move out and move into her house, Maddie sees that Bobby writes a huge, long, sappy letter to Danielle begging her to take him back. So Maddie gets super pissed. Like, what the hell is going on?
And she's a loose cannon.
Yes.
She's a freaking psycho.
She's like, I'm doing all this so you can be with me and you still want
Yeah.
her?
Yeah.
Then we get to a date, June 12th, 2004, just after midnight. Poor Danielle, who's working her goddamn ass off. She gets home from a super long shift at the ER. She takes a shower because she's probably covered in everybody else's, blood. Gets out of the shower,
She's exhausted.
trying to dry off, and she gets shot through her window into her chest. A bullet goes through her bathroom window right into her chest. She falls to the ground. She's still alive. She crawls through her bathroom floor into her bedroom to her phone and calls 911.
Jesus.
Still alive, and she's shot through the chest. The ambulance comes, then they rush her into surgery, and they showed the bloody photos, like of her blood all over, crawling to her phone.
It was gross.
Yes, it was. Just clumpy blood, like where it just clumped, fell out of her. Oh. So police then go they know, and they go right to Maddie's to go find Bobby, her husband, and they say, Danielle's been shot. But the police find it odd because it's after 3 a.m. A.M. Dumbass Bobby is wide awake, dressed to the nines, and all like looking normal, dressed, and wearing his goddamn shoes.
The detective was like, his shirt was literally tucked in, and it was 3:15
and he had his
a.m.
shoes on.
Yeah, like, what are you doing, dude? And then Maddie was just a fucking pile of shit.
Yeah, she looked like she had just been drinking for 3 weeks straight and had ridden like a cow in a rodeo of some sort and gotten a rodeo clune. Yeah, and gotten hit by a bull 47 times. So Maddie is in her bed, totally groggy, totally disoriented. She looks like she has been beaten by some sort of ostrich. And her car is parked up on her lawn and almost run through her house. Mm-hmm. And so the police are like, this bitch is hammed. Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. The .357 Magnum is right on her nightstand, and it's been fired recently.
Did give away.
Yep. Danielle was in surgery. They pulled the slug out of her chest, and then they match the slug to Bobby's gun. So they know Bobby's gun.
Literal perfect.
Right.
And remember, the gun is a giant piece of metal.
Right.
And it has to be it. It's the only match.
Right. So they know it's this gun. So they know either Bobby or Maddie fired it. They just have to find out who. So they take both dicks into the police station and interview them both. Mm-hmm. Bobby's story is that he was just very sick, even though they saw him at 3 a.m. dressed up just fine. So he takes sleep aid. And then he remembers Maddie coming in a fancy, fancy cocktail dress, slamming drink after drink and saying, I'm going out for a drive.
Yep.
But then he wakes up later from his sleep aid and he hears the sound of gunshots in the yard. So he goes out into the yard. He sees a very drunk Maddie who drove her car almost into the house. She's passed out on the yard. And he sees her wearing the pistol case like a cowboy. And the pistol's half hanging out of it. That's his story.
Uh-huh.
And then he kind of brings her into bed and throws her into bed. And the police are like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then they talk to Maddie, and Maddie says, oh, shit, man. I was at home, and Bobby brings me some cloudy wine. Mm-hmm. And we never really drink together, but he said, drink up and get loose for once, bitch. And so I took the drink, and it tasted really gross and funny, but I drink it all up.
It looked weird.
Yeah. And then I just got real tired and stuff. And then Bobby brings me into my car and he handcuffed me to the car.
Good Lord.
And then he started driving around in the town and he was slapping me around in the face to keep me awake. And then Bobby drives to Danielle's house and he parks out front. And then Bobby got out. And I said, oh, no. And then he went to her door and he tried to get in. And he couldn't. And then I heard a gunshot. And then Bobby came back into the car and he said, look what you did. And then he brings the car back and he puts me in the bed and he puts the gun on the nightstand. And the police are like, what in the hell is going on?
There is no way. There's no way this can be real.
They're like, this story's fucked.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Who's telling the truth? So Danielle lives.
And you literally
Yeah.
think there's no way
Yeah,
it can be her. She literally looks like
her story,
rodeo clown.
she looks
Yeah.
like trash. Like, how can this be true?
yeah.
But Danielle lives through surgery, and the police go in to talk to her, and she says, "Oh fuck, Bobby did it for sure. There's no other person would do it. He did it." They go to her bathroom window, and it's like the hole in the bathroom window is like 6'2",
Yeah.
or whatever, something like that.
It's
Up
like
the
6
ground.
feet off the ground. Yeah.
Maddie is 5'2". Bobby is 5'10". So Maddie, no way would be able to hold that gun that's huge over her head and try to
And
aim. She wouldn't be able to
shoot
see
it at something.
and do
Yeah.
one shot and hit her right through the
Right.
chest. Bobby could probably do that and aim it through the window and hit her. And then Bobby's story keeps changing because Maddie had a blood test and she didn't have alcohol in her system, but she had a shit ton of like Ambien.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Ambien made her like fucked up like that.
So Bobby was saying she was
Yeah.
hammered.
Right. But she was just on
But she
a shit
wasn't.
ton of Ambien.
So this was like,
And-
who's telling the truth?
Right. And so they
who's
start
lying?
believing Maddie.
Which is
Yeah.
unreal.
Right. Because it's such a weird story.
Yeah.
And Bobby had all the motives because he wanted to keep his job and he didn't want his wife around to say he's a psycho.
Right.
So he goes to trial in December. And the story is he's trying to break in, but Danielle had changed her locks quick. And then he tries to get in through a window and he can't even break the window. So he goes to the bathroom and he sees her silhouette in the bathroom. And that's what he just kind of backed up and aimed at, just her silhouette, and hits her right in the chest. And it's only like 7 days of a trial. And on December 9th, they come back guilty of attempted first-degree murder, and he gets 16 years. And then they just end with saying, Danielle left the town. That's how it ends.
Scene.
Like, okay, scene. But I'm glad. I mean, I don't know what happened to Maddie, but I hope she dumped him. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. What if
I don't
she's
know
like,
if
I
she-
still want to date you even when you're in prison.
Or if I don't know if she got. I mean, she was so out of it. I don't think she would be an accomplice.
no, he totally
Yeah.
fucked her up on purpose.
Right. So I mean, and he staged it to be her
And tried to
Yeah.
gaslight her into
Right.
thinking she did it.
Yeah. So
What a psycho.
I know. My God, total dork. And again, he looks totally different than the man in the actor.
Just
Oh.
stupid.
Yes. Just a gross
But
pig.
funny. If
Yeah.
you do want to,
Oh,
I
this one
promise
was
you'll
balls
laugh.
to the wall.
Yeah, you would laugh.
How they
if
acted
you-
everything
if you
out
watched
was
this.
so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hilarious. So Sarah, tomorrow's book club.
Right.
And it starts at 7:30 Central
It does.
Standard Time. And the amazing Shauna is going to
I
run it
know.
for us.
She's heavenly.
So if you read All Good
I
People
did.
Here, you should log on tomorrow night and at 7:30 Central, find the Zoom link on our Facebook group page. So it's in the group.
Yeah.
And then log on and you can talk about it. And I'm thankful for you.
Oh, thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful for me too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, bye.
Bye.